I have now read every single book that Sarah J Maas has ever written. Actually, minus that Catwoman book that she wrote. I don't really know when she found the time to write that, so that's not going to be in this list. But the 3 major series, ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, Crescent City, I've read them all, so let's rank them together. I'm excited. Let's do this. I think this will be fun. If you are new to my channel, my name is Kat. I love books. I love romance books and fantasy books. I love cozy hobbies. I love doing things that make me feel good. I love binge watching TV. All of that aside, we are going to tier rank all of Sarah J Maas's books. Spoiler free, of course. I would never want to spoil any of these books for anyone, but we will be talking about them. So I do recommend you having read them before you watch this video. Then we're going to talk about the tiers. And the first one being Lala Love This. This is where I'm going to put all of my favorite books, all of the books that I have obsessed over and just read a bunch of times. All those books are going to go there. Then we have A Great Time. These are books that I really enjoyed. Maybe can't reread them for reasons that we will talk about in the video, but I definitely had a great time reading them. Then because the website made me make 5 categories, we've got I like, and that just means that I liked the book. I thought it was good. I was entertained. I probably would reread it again. Pretty self-explanatory. I liked it. Then we have Twas Okay But, and I think that all the books that I put in this category, I'm just going to explain why I'm like, yeah, it's good. They're okay. But here's my reasoning why. And then the last category is It's a No for me, which just means that I just didn't jive with it at all. So let's start ranking. So we're starting off strong with ACOTAR, which I read during the pandemic, and it was pitched to me as being the Beast, but with Fae, and those are 2 things that I very much like. So I do think that this book picks up around like 60%. That's a large time investment. Oh man, but I do really like that last chunk of book. So I think that I am gonna say that I liked it. I did. I liked it. I reread it a few times. It's not a great time, but it's a time that I enjoy. So yeah, I liked it. Then, to no one's surprise, if you follow me at all, Court of Mist and Fury has to go in Lala Love This. It is one of the best sequels in existence. Like, it's top tier sequel quality. It's right up there with Catching Fire. I think that this is such a healing journey. I think it far surpasses the first one. I think that it's my favorite book by Sarah J Maas because I have read it, finished it, and then started it again because I just loved the vibes. The vibes were everything. So love this. Then we have A Court of Wings and Ruin. This was what was supposed to be the 3rd and final book in this trilogy, and it was a trilogy. Oh, see, parts of this are so great, and I love the first 11, 13 chapters, and then I'm like, whoa, and parts of it feel rushed, and the pacing's a little off, but I can't get mad at it because I really enjoy it, and you get some satisfaction in some parts, but then it's very much open-ended in others, where not as open-ended as you get in other books with her, but I would say that this is a great time. I had a great time. Yeah, I had a great time. Now, the very controversial, and honestly, people are split on this, A Court of Frost and Starlight. I'm a fan of this novella. I like the holidays. I like that these characters get to spend time together during said holidays. This one does frustrate me because I felt so unsatisfied with the ending, and I was so frustrated with that because there was, at the time that I read this, not official news that there was going to be Silver Flames. I don't know. I would say that I like this. I like it. I have reread it at least 2 or 3 times, so yeah. Oh gosh, ranking is actually not that easy. It's not. You think you know what you're going to say, but it's not the case. Then we have A Court of Silver Flames. This was the thickest book. This was huge, and I'm grateful for this experience, and I'm so grateful for all the answers that we got because I needed them, you probably needed them, we needed them as a book society. The ending is the only thing that I'm like, girl, why? It just felt so rushed, but the character arc, the healing, the love, there's spice in this. I mean, I'm good with it. So I think I'm gonna say it's a great time. It's not a happy time, but it's a great time. I'm not one that necessarily relates to her character, but I really wanted that healing for her. I want healing for everyone. You want to invest in a healing journey? I'm supporting you. I believe in it. I love healing journeys. They're great. So yeah, it's a great time. But I need more answers. I need more answers. Give me more ACOTAR, please. I don't know what that voice was. It just came out of my mouth. But then we have Crescent City 1, House of Flame and Shadow, I believe. No, Earth and Blood. That's what this one is. House of Flame and Shadows is stuck in my head. I thought that this was great. I really enjoyed the story. I loved the urban fantasy aspect of it. It did feel completely different than her other 2 books in many ways. It is heavy on the world building, and you do have to invest a lot of time into it to understand like what is happening and all the characters and the like different houses and the magic systems and all that. When I read it, I was like, great time. But I do think that I was riding that high of the ending, like the last chunk of the book. So I think I would say that I liked this. Upon reflection, things have changed ever so slightly. Then I would also say that House of Sky and Breath, oh man, I really was like, we're getting a lot of information. Like this is information heavy. Well, and I don't know if all of that was necessary. The ending, oh my gosh, are you serious with that? Yeah, I'm gonna say that I liked it. I liked it a lot. Not a great time for me anymore though. You get like caught up in the moment when you're reading these books. You're like, this is the best thing ever. And it's not to say that it's not, but sometimes it's because you're living it and then you just gotta like let it marinate, let it sit. It's sat. And now I'm like, yeah, I like it. Then we have House of Flame and Shadow. This is the 3rd and last book for now in this series. This was originally a trilogy. It is now said that it's going to be a series. How many books? I don't really know. I don't want to know at this time because I am still upset. I'm really sorry if you loved it. I love that for you. Unfortunately for me, it's a no. And I've gone into it in like my last 2 videos, but I just felt like it was rushed. I felt like the characters were making decisions that weren't in line with decisions that they made in the past 2 books. I thought that the ending was rushed and I felt really upset, genuinely upset that things were being introduced so late in the game. And I understand that's to set up future books, but I think this would have been a really great trilogy. And like, I loved Bryce in that first book too. I kind of was like, girl, what's happening? Like, what's happening here? Yeah, it's a no. It's a no for me, unfortunately. Now we're going to talk about Throne of Glass. This is a series that I absolutely love. It does really move around a lot. I don't know if people talk about that a lot. The vibes change all throughout, but yet also remain the same. Like, you know what I mean? Because it was YA and then it turns into adult. But then there's like major shifts that happen. Okay, we're just going to get into it. So Assassin's Blade. I have this as first. I do recommend reading this after Crown of Midnight. That's just my personal opinion in this moment for like the most emotional impact. But I think it's 5 stories in one book, 5 novellas. You absolutely have to read the first story and the last story in this book. Oh, I do really love those first 2 stories, but I kind of like didn't need the middle 2. But you do need them. So I think for that reason, I'm going to say 'twas okay, but because some stories I was like, what? And then some stories I was like, okay, that's cool. And I didn't understand. And because I read it without knowing a lot at the time, but again, read it after Crown of Midnight. That's just my recommendation. I think if I had done that, I would have appreciated the stories a bit more. I don't think I did that. I think I read it first. Or maybe I just couldn't be bothered. Maybe I was like, I just want to get to the good stuff. I don't really know. It was 2020, babe. I can't remember. Maybe 2021. It was a while ago now. Throne of Glass, though. I like Throne of Glass. I think it's fun. There's trials. You're getting introduced to these characters. There's 2 guys in it. And she's like, you know, she's got some choices to make. It's like a little bit of a mystery. It's not like groundbreaking, but it's fun. So I like it. Crown of Midnight. I also would say that I liked this. Oh, yeah. Again, with that ending, it's kind of shocking. I actually don't think I'm healed from it in that way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like it. Then we have Heir of Fire. At first, when I first read this, I was like, 'twas okay, but now I have like a deeper appreciation for the story. But here's the really big thing about it. It's such a tone shift from the first 2. So when I picked this up, I remember I was DMing this girl on Instagram, and this is before I had started like any socials really. And I was like, what the what's going on in this book? I think part of that initial reaction is like deeply rooted within me, but it is good. So I think that I would say, okay, I would say 'twas okay, but because there are a lot of things that are so different in this book than the first 2. And this is really the start of like a new direction. I love this new direction, but I remember so vividly reading this, I DNF'd it. And then I picked it back up because the girl I was messaging was like, girl, what are you doing? You gotta keep going. So I would just say, if you are in a similar boat, know that I hear you and I see you. It is really good, but the initial reaction within me is just like, what's happening? I don't like it. And it does make sense, but still. Then we have Queen of Shadows. This is my ultra favorite. I love this book. Love this all the way. This is that book where like everything is still, still Throne of Glassing before it starts to go into that Kingdom of Ash era of storytelling. It's like a perfect middle book. Is it even in the middle? I don't even know, but it's got all the stuff you love because you know everything by now. You know the characters, you're shipping certain ones. The drama is on point. Yeah, I love this book so much. So good. Oh my goodness. And then we have Empire Storms. This book is traumatizing. This book put me through it and then some. I highly recommend doing a tandem read, which I did not do the first time I read the series, with Tower of Dawn. All the information is linked in my beginner's guide. Check that out if you're interested, but I highly recommend a tandem read. But this as its own, it's a great freaking time. Messy, chaotic, epic, heartbreaking, so good. Then we have Tower of Dawn, and I feel like Tower of Dawn gets a lot of hate. It gets a lot of negative attention, but is this not Silver Flames, but for a certain other character? Like, is it not a similar situation? I think my problem with this was the fact that I didn't know. So I thought it was just another Throne of Glass book with the whole gang, but it's really just like a few members, like basically 3 people you're kind of following through this, and it's like their own separate journey, and it does connect, and you do have to read this. You can't skip it. You have to read it. So I'm gonna say that I liked it. But I was I remember I was like chapter 7. I was like, okay, but like where's everyone else? And then I googled it. I was like, oh man, like you don't want to watch the videos about it because you don't want to get spoiled, but I needed some answers at chapter 7. I was like, please tell me where are my people at? So I'm gonna say that I liked it, but honestly the first time I read it, 'twas okay, but now, especially in the era of like Silver Flames, I think that both stories are necessary and both are powerful, and I liked where it went. Then we have Kingdom of Ash. You know that TikTok audio where it's like emotional damage? It's like a song and they just keep saying it. Oh, it's to that like Bastille song. Hopefully you know it. Anyways, that this book. I remember I finished it in the summer on like the brightest day and I was stressed. It was like 3 p.m. when I finished it. The outside didn't fit what I was feeling. I do not recommend finishing this at night. At least I was able to like do something to distract myself after, but it was tough. It's immaculate. It's such a great book. I loved every moment of it. I think I've only read it once. I can't say that I love this because it's not something I would just reread. Like I wouldn't just pick it up from like lols. You have to read it as a part of the series. So I'm going to say it's a great time because it's truly what I've been looking for when it comes to fantasy series. I want just a big epic conclusion. I just think it's such a great way to end the series. I loved that. That was so fun. So now that I have ranked them, please let me know your thoughts and feelings. If you agree, if you disagree, how you would rank them, how you would even rank the series. For me, I definitely think Throne of Glass is the strongest, then ACOTAR, then Crescent City. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.